more about the prison that Secretary Noem is visiting. What appears to be the goal of the trip?
Well, Noem right now is on her way to CCOT. We understand she's landed in El Salvador. She saw the U.S. ambassador to El Salvador, and now she's on a bus, which is about a 30-minute ride from that airport to CCOT. That was the prison that you saw those men being taken into. Here she is earlier today getting off the plane. What we understand is that she'll be touring these facilities and then having a meeting with El Salvadorian President Bukele. He is the one who made that offer with the last secretary for this administration who was there, Marco Rubio, to take in not only these immigrants, but he's even offered to take in U.S. citizens accused of crime. She's there much in the same way she went to Guantanamo Bay to show how the DHS is tough on immigrants. Of course, this is the same person who's her dog. That kind of toughness is one of the reasons why Trump said he picked her for this job. But it's unclear if she'll be giving any remarks or if she'll have to answer to the accusations you mentioned from the families who say these people are not connected to that gang.
And Julia, I want to switch gears a little bit and ask you about something happening in the U.S. Tufts University and a lawyer say that Immigration and Customs Enforcement took an international student into custody. What are we learning? I know it's a developing story.
That's right. This is definitely a developing story. There's a video going around right now. It's been posted on X of this woman down the street. Here you go. Apparently she was about to break her fast and meet friends during Ramadan to break their fast together. First, she's approached by an unmarked person. They're undercover. We believe these are ICE agents, some in masks. It ends up being about 6 people who surround her. They take off her backpack, take her into custody. And Kate, we understand from her lawyer that they actually don't even know where she is. When we look her up on the ICE website, it says she's in ICE custody. Typically, say which detention center. In this case, they don't give a location, and so her lawyer and her families want to know where she is. They say she, participated in a pro-Palestinian protest, but really was never charged with anything, was never investigated. That they think this is going too far.
All right, Julia Ainsley with that developing news. Thank you.
A Michigan couple has been held in a Mexican prison for more than 3 weeks now over an alleged credit card dispute with their timeshare. Paul and Christy Akeo were arrested on March 4th, shortly after they landed in Cancun for vacation. They're facing charges of fraud, but their daughter argues the charges are bogus, tied to a credit card dispute with a resort chain that was resolved years ago. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa is following this one for us from Michigan. Maggie, I understand you spoke with the couple's daughter. What is she saying, and what's their argument and the timeshare company's stance?
I won't mention his name.
Sure, it's complicated. We'll start with the daughter, Lindsay Hull. She says, long story short, back in 2021, parents, Christy and Paul Akeo, purchased this kind of exclusive membership package with Palace Resorts, kind of this all-inclusive luxury chain. And one perk, one of many, on that package was that if you refer people to the chain, to Palace, you can rack up free night stays, those kinds of things, other perks for free. And she said a few months after her mother purchased the package, started doing that, started posting on Facebook about it, they got an alert from Palace saying you have to stop posting on Facebook, stop posting your own photos of us, that it was intellectual property that was being stolen, that they were, in their words, illegally selling membership benefits. Palace isn't confirming or clarifying that part of the story. This is according to the family. Long story short, they say Palace, as a result of this, started canceling future reservations and future stays. So the Akeos said, okay, if we can't get the perks, we're not going to pay. They challenged charges, disputed them with their American Express card. American Express investigated, landed on their side, refunded the money. They thought it was over. That was years ago. They've been going back to Mexico on vacation ever since. Earlier this in Cancun for a random trip, and they're arrested for fraud tied to this case. Here is part of my interview with their daughter.
We need help. We need help from our politicians. We need help from our government. We need President Trump to see this. We need his help. This is not something that we can just accept the fact that we have 2 innocent U.S. citizens, one being a 21-year Navy veteran, innocently sitting in a Mexican prison.
So Lindsay and her brother have been out to every U.S. official they can think of. The State Department actually telling NBC News they're aware of this case. We have also heard back guys from Palace. I want to show you part of their statement now. They say the complaint, this is a lawyer for Palace, was filed in accordance with Mexican laws. They say the conduct of the Akeos, in their words, appears to be criminal. And again, they've been in prison for weeks amid all of this. And they also point to behavior on social media, specifically highlighting a post from Christie telling others how they could dispute charges if they found themselves in a similar circumstances that was damaging to Palace. So guys, long story short, in the States, this would be a civil matter. In Mexico, they've been in prison for weeks, and they could be there, the family worries, indefinitely, and that's what has them so alarmed right now. I'll send it